Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
We're gonna start with HLC. Just put out something today. Are we ready for Chinese robot soccer? Apparently. Let's do it.
America!
Oh, God.
It's been a little while since we started a video with that. What happened this time? Someone hurt
Yeah.
your feelings? Someone being out in public, being white? I don't know. You're mad about all sorts of dumb stuff nowadays, so gonna have to narrow it down for me, homie. Somebody stole through a corporate takeover. It's rather messy. It's trying to understand the whole thing. Around $200,000 of Legos.
Yes. Chelsea is getting in on the Reckless Ben Lego story. Hell yes. Let's fucking go. I can't wait to hear what he says about this.
Wow, 200 grand. That's gotta be, let me see, 1 Death Star, 1 Millennium Falcon, and maybe 2 Harry Potter sets.
They're not that expensive. But seriously, Lego.
Just a
It
lot
used to
of
be
them.
a toy for children. The price gouging is getting insane. And I get it. Inflation, whatever, cool. You can say that, but when you're getting record profits, obviously something else is going on. But yeah, it was I don't know, it's kind of, I'm trying to learn about it. Somebody reached out to me about this and I've been reading about it, and it's try and stay with me here. I'm going to try and explain all this. What's to explain?
Boy.
A corporation came in, bought a business, and took everything that belonged to an individual rather than the business. Kind of?
No, no, UK, that's not what happened. Okay, TLDR. Guy brought his, Legos, okay, for the cheap seats that have not been with us this entire fucking time talking about this, for those of you that have not been watching my videos where I've been covering this, here's the TLDR. Gentleman's elderly father has probably one of the biggest Lego Star Wars collections in the world. He probably has more Lego Star Wars collections than anyone else in the world, valued at approximately $200,000 total. Son, because father is elderly, the father who owns the Lego sets is elderly and infirm and is needing care. I believe maybe he has dementia. So the son bought the Lego sets to Bricks and Minifigs in Salem, Oregon, to basically sell, to help, to get money to pay for his father's medical conditions and medical treatments. So the owner of the Bricks and Minifigs at the time, as a woman, she said, sure, we'll do it on consignment. They do a contract, a Bricks and Minifigs contract, by the way, which was authorized by the corporation, that the corporation later retracted and said, oh, no, we don't actually do this, but that's a whole different thing entirely. So they do a consignment contract. She's starting to sell his Lego kits. She's been cataloging everything. Then Bricks and Minifigs comes in, boots her, I always mix this up. She quit. The franchisee in the Salem store quits because her partner, husband, whatever he is to her, has a job that will take them out of the country. So she's quitting being the franchisee. Corporation comes in, they send in these 2 asshats to take over the franchise. She tries to explain, she tells them, hey, I've got this guy, I've been selling his stuff on consignment. And they say, and the corporation on the phone with her on the night of the takeover says, well, that's this guy's problem now, as in the new franchisee. He's going to facilitate that. She basically gets essentially booted out. They take over, and then it's suddenly radio fucking silence from the new franchisees to this guy who is trying to sell his father's Lego sets. He keeps calling him, trying to figure out. The guy's like, fuck you. I'm grotesquely paraphrasing because I'm trying to TLDR this. So bearing in mind, there's a lot more minutia to this than what I'm saying. So this is a TLDR. Basically, the franchisee says, go fuck yourself to the guy. You want to do something, sue me, but I guarantee you it's going to cost more to sue me than these things are going to be worth. We have a lot more money. You're going to lose. So he contacts out the YouTuber Reckless Ben to do an investigation, then does a quote unquote investigation. That's a whole different thing. I have issues with that. And in the end, what the end result is Reckless Ben and the owner of the Legos basically take the franchisee to call claims court for about 11 different $10,000 small claims court lawsuits. They win, and the store closes and runs and hides. And the two franchisees run and hide. They close the store so they don't have to pay. That is gone into part 2, which is a whole thing that I'm not going to get into. I have videos on all of these on my channel, on my YouTube channel. I have like multiple freaking videos about this situation. We're actually going to be watching another follow-up video from Legal Mindset tonight. A further update. This is like a saga. Okay, the Bricks and Minifigs things is a literal fucking saga. That is not done. Then still has a part 3 that has yet to drop. So we ain't done on this, but it's big.
It's a little bit deeper than that. So Guy had a personal collection worth about $200,000 worth of Star Wars Lego sets, which Buff's right. That's probably not very much Lego sets. But anyways,
No, it's actually a
had
lot.
this store sell it on consignment, which is, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's where you take your personal property, you have a store sell it for you, and then you guys share the profits.
Bricks and Minifigs is losing customers, and they're losing franchisees. They fired. They said that they parted ways with, but they fired the franchisees from the Salem store. They're gone, and other franchisees are basically saying, "Fuck this shit, we're out." I'm pretty sure a couple of franchisees have already basically parted ways with Bricks and Minifigs off and said, "Fuck this. We're not dealing. We're not gonna work for your company." And yeah, they're losing business partners too. They're losing influencers. They're losing business partners. One of their biggest business partners who actually did specialty Lego minifigs, like custom minifigurines for Legos. They fucked off. They basically said, we're done. We're not going to deal with you anymore. So that was a major partner that they lost. They're gone. The influencers that would do like live stream blogs at their businesses, they said, "Fuck this shit. We're up. We're not dealing with you anymore." Brandon's still in charge of the Eugene store. I don't know. Bricks and Minifigs actually put out a public address saying that they have parted ways with both Josh and Brandon. So if he is still working at another, so Brandon is still working, owns the Eugene store. Shocking. Bricks and Minifigs lied. Big fucking shock that Bricks and Minifigs lied. This company is going down. This corporation is going down so fucking hard, and I will be there laughing my ass off when it does.
Well, the lady he signed the deal with, the corporation in charge of her business, revoked her corporate franchise and took control of the business, and in the process took control of his consignment.
Correct.
However, they also said that it was then store property and was
not Brandon Herrera. One of the, I forget his last name, and I quite frankly don't give a fuck about his last name. He's a piece of shit. One of the two people that were the franchisee owners of the Salem, Oregon Bricks and Minifig store was, one man was named Josh, the other man was named Brandon. Brandon Best. There you go. Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson, I think, or maybe it was Jacobson. I can't remember. But yeah, Brandon Best was one of the co-franchisees of the Salem Bricks and Minifig store. Brick said, "We've parted ways with them," but he actually still owns one of the franchises, so they fucking lied. Shocking. Shocking. A completely corrupt company that buys the police force as a personal security and thug lied about firing their franchisee.
However, they also said that it was then store property and was no longer personal property, so they seized it. It's a mess. It's corporate greed.
Not quite. They basically just kind of played one round. They didn't say it was store property, therefore corporate property, and seized it. They didn't quite do that. Like, HLC is kind of like, I'll give it to him. HLC's got to compress a fuckload of information into a couple seconds. So I'm not dogging on HLC for this. It's more complicated that they didn't actually seize it. They basically just started giving the owner, Brian Mansell, a lot of runaround and refused to work with him at all. That's basically what, that's the long and short of it.
It's corporate greed and theft.
Ah, man, if Uncle Sam had $1. Seriously, our debt is out of fucking control. Anyone got $1?
Yeah.
Then
That's
the
why I'm not
guy
dogging on it
whose
for it.
items were on consignment claimed that he wasn't paid when the items were sold, and there's still some unpaid stuff. And in the original agreement, they were supposed to return anything to him that was not sold. And he has an inventory of everything, but now the corporation is saying that they're not going to allow him to go in inventory and find out what is sold and what is not sold.
Well, and also now supposedly this in the latest development, which HLC may or may not be aware of, supposedly the CEO is claiming that he's reaching out to Brian and saying, "We'll give you back any remaining Star Wars Lego sets that we have, whether you're yours or not." They basically said if we have any Star Wars Lego sets in the store, they're yours. That's the offer they made to him, even if they're not his. They said you can have them, which basically was a giant fucking flare that they're backpedaling in on the ropes, and they've got them right where they want them. They said, just take whatever you want and get out. That's an indicator that that they are scared. And I fucking love it. Yes. Delicious desperation.
So then basically he filed a lawsuit because they stole from him, but then the corporation also filed a countersuit because they're saying that defamation and they tried to illegally enter and trespass entirely. And corporations doing corporation shit.
Now that's referring to Ben. That was not Brian Mansell. The countersuit came after. They sued in small claims court. They won by default judgment, according to Ben. The countersuit has come after, because with the current lawsuit, when Ben was trying to serve the lawsuit to Josh, that's when they're doing the countersuit and did the trespassing and stuff like that. So that was actually not Brian that got that. That was Ben.
If you think about it, corporations really are the little guy.
Yeah, they're going after both now.
Oh, fall asleep in another fucking meeting.
I wasn't sleeping. I had my eyes closed because I was inspecting the insides of my eyelids for any kind of trauma or cancers.
Poor John, HLC just pulled out the tried and true military excuse. I wasn't sleeping. I was PMCSing the inside of my eyelids. I fucking love that he pulled out that old chestnut. I wasn't asleep. I was PMCSing the inside of my eyelids for holes.
Unlike that weird Joe Biden who was just falling upstairs and everything, they actually have to try to kill me. I didn't get taken out by a staircase, and I didn't get taken out by a pretzel. Looking at you, George Bush.
There's an entire
PMCS, Preventative Maintenance Checks and Services. It's the acronym that the Army, well, I know it from hearing from Army guys. It's basically, at least for the Army, it's the acronym used for when they basically do inspections on equipment to, vehicles, and I think it applies to like weapons as well. It's basically just checking everything over, making sure everything is okay with vehicles, making sure that if they need to get grease or anything like lubrication, somewhere, it's, checking tires, checking, mounts, shit like that. It's like they would call it PMCS, Preventative Maintenance Checks and Services.
Demographic that watches these videos that isn't going to get that joke. If you're not old enough to remember George Bush videos, that isn't going to get that joke. If you're not old enough to remember George Bush Jr. quite literally was almost taken out by a pretzel in the White House.
Yep.
That's a real thing.
I remember hearing about that.
I shouldn't have said Junior. It should have been George W. Bush.
Swell guy, hell of a president, went in there, was dealing with...
Robert Williams even made a joke about it, with W almost like choked on a pretzel. He's like, yeah, he started choking. Like, Robert Williams actually made a joke about this in his, what is it? Weapons of Self-Destruction tour, I think it was. Yeah, he's like, the leader of the free world, and he almost gets taken down by snack food. Oh, wasn't his Live on Broadway tour? Okay, it was Live on Broadway tour. I couldn't remember which tour it was. Yeah, it's like he almost gets taken down by snack food. Secret Service is like, game over, man. Game over. And we must not forget that Reagan freaking roused up a lung from like pea soup at like some kind of presidential dinner. He like freaking like tossed his cookies en masse in the lap of like a visiting dignitary, I think. Back in like, what was it, the 80s that this happened? Like, just shit happens,
With all the problems in the Middle East, kind of like me. But my friend Kanye says that he doesn't care about black people, and I don't find that to be true.
The most powerful military in the world. And you all elect him.
I couldn't help but notice that you said most powerful military in the world. That's probably because your flagship just broke down again. It's not even going to make it to the 250th, which is quite funny considering we don't really care what you thought about us for the last 250 years. And I got plenty of other things going on out here, plenty of stuff. Obviously my medical, probably the best that any doctor has ever seen.
Oh,
and
God,
also,
here we go.
I've been considering what's going on with Iran and their nuclear program, and we're not really going to stop the ceasefire until they come to a deal. And if they don't, well,
I hate this shit.
we're going to blow the hell out of them. Seriously, guys, fucking phrasing. Anybody. Blow them away. Right? I'm not the only...
Grandpa Buff, pretty sure he said what he said. Just say it. Just say it. He said what he said. I don't make the rules,
only one who got that same... That's a real quote, by the way. We're gonna blow the hell out of them. That's a real thing that was said. Who here has seen The Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone? Great movie, by the way. But Sandra Bullock literally says something like that. Let's go blow this guy. Fucking phrasing, man. God, I get it. I'm on Team USA all day, but I really wish our presidents would just stop being themselves sometimes. Fuck.
Well,
Yes!
I mean, it is Pride Month. Oh, that's so
Oh, shit, kid.
Speaking of, kid, did you happen to see that YouTuber who got the thermal view of that test aircraft that I won't confirm or deny is maybe, could be possibly the F-47, or maybe it's the FAXX. I don't know
I
what it
didn't
is.
hear about this.
Yeah, I saw it. And in a short amount of time, I could turn that son of a bitch into debris. What the fuck is that? This is the thing, man. Like, we're trying to get the world to respect us. And you think flying something that has canards over the top of their country is
no,
gonna
not the
get it?
canards.
They think we're gonna show up and put our wieners in their butt.
Canards
What?
provide superior ability in turning and maneuverability, mate. They're not fucking gay.
Whatever you say, Fruit Loop, it's your month. You identify as trans combat.
God.
And your ATF is being in another lawsuit.
Okay, is it a day that ends in Y?
And what's your problem with that? Like, I specifically read into this situation so I could understand exactly what was going on and why they were suing. So, hit me with your best shot there, Beans on Toast.
Okay.
So, there's this gun control advocacy group.
We call those gay-ass commies here, but continue.
Yes.
And they are suing because the ATF is willingly withholding information. You mean the ATF that was originally designed not to be a law enforcement organization or maintain any kind of tracking on these things? They were specifically only supposed to track taxes on things like alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. But continue to tell me how you think you understand things. Well, here's the thing. They wanted data on, after apparently a certain number of firearms come back to a specific location, the ATF then petitions that location for all of their records to make sure that they're operating legally. And they were trying to get that information so that way they could post it to their media sites and show the data around certain institutions selling weapons to individuals who are committing crimes with them. So tell me again why we have a problem with the government not allowing a gun control advocacy group to create a hit list of potentially bad businesses instead of letting the government and law enforcement handle it? Please. Because they've been given that data for years.
Okay, he's about to say giving you data for years. Yeah, and now we're living in an age of basically these quote-unquote advocacy groups becoming literal murder squad vigilantes. All right, we have people, like, Oh my god, fucking use your brain. Fucking beans on falafel. Seriously. Like, these people are, like, these quote-unquote advocacy groups, which they're not. They're pretending to be advocacy groups. They are not advocacy groups by any stretch of imagination. They're basically Antifa pretending to be an advocacy group. They are literally trying to get these records to put out literal fucking hit lists because they are now becoming murder squads to go out and kill people that do not agree with them and do not agree because they think, oh, nobody should have a gun. And so if somebody has a gun, they've now become a target for them to kill with, guess what? A gun. Like, Jews, I know you don't have much gray matter up there, but for the holiest of fuck, use the gray matter that God fucking gave you, even though you don't believe in him in the first place.
Years. And all of a sudden, the ATF has a problem and won't allow them to have it. I get data literacy is a bit of a problem on your side of the pond, but allow me to break this down to you. If you're taking data and you are cherry-picking data in order to support your narrative, that is nothing more than any type of propaganda. That's really what you're doing. So let me ask you, which car company last year was responsible for the most DUIs?
Nissan Altimas. No, that's probably hit and runs. That is a very white people crime. So, Ford F-150.
I was going to say F-150s.
That's not the same thing.
Isn't
I agree. It is far easier to kill somebody with a motor vehicle than it is a firearm. Remember that box truck in France in like 2014? Like 90 people killed? What I'm getting at is cherry-picking individualized data in order to support your narrative is wrong in any aspect. And I can absolutely back up the ATF, which is wild to me, on not releasing that data. Let me ask you, if the federal government withheld demographic data on individuals who commit crimes, especially violent gun crime in this country, would you have the same problem with it? It's like arguing with a lunatic.
Yeah, that same
Answer the
lunatic who
question, beans on
250 years
falafel.
ago handed you your first of 65 Independence Days that you've been fucking given when we told King George to sit on it and rotate.
I have a feeling my 4th of July episode is going to go a lot like this.
No, way worse. We may have to make it a Pepperbox exclusive.
Oh, and I thought you had freedom of religion. Didn't your Pentagon just remove, like, I don't know, 170 recognized religions in your military? Remove, kinda? Okay, so this one I'm still gathering information on. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it was kind of clickbaity, because part of one of the articles said that some of these religions were roped in with like Christianity, Judaism, and they were like into the larger faiths, and some of them were just completely removed. Now, I mean, I can understand their standpoint from the Pentagon is they want chaplains to be able to kind of group individuals into larger denominations so that way they can serve that organization best, and I get that.
Streamlining.
But the big problem right now is, and I don't know how true it is, one article said that LDS was removed, and another one said that LDS was lumped in with Christianity. LDS is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is primarily like their headquarters is in Utah. I don't know what's going on there. I'm more to follow. Speaking of,
is the Latter-day Saints thing the reason why this whole issue is blown up? Because I'll be real, like out of all of the religious denominations that were not mainstream, like Judaism, Christianity, and maybe even perhaps Muslim, it's like the Latter-day Saints, I could see them being one of the more bigger, I could see Latter-day Saints being one of the religions that has a substantial amount of military service members that believe in that faith. So, and if they're trying to, and let's be real, Mormons don't like, well, okay, this is gonna, I understand I'm speaking sort of in a colloquial way here. Mormons don't exactly like Christians because they you know, I could see them like saying, oh, we're going to lump, if it's the lumping them in with Christianity, I could see Mormons taking issue with getting lumped into Christianity because the Mormon faith is, I would say, somewhat substantially different from Christianity, and I would wager that your average chaplain is not going to really be able to really understand and appreciate the variances between Christianity and Mormon. And with Mormons, they're very tight knit, and I could see them saying like, no, you're not going to get our religion, so we want our own chaplain for that. It's like, yeah, Christianity does have more flavors than Kool-Aid, but the Mormon variant of it is very, they are very individualized. I don't know if that's the correct word or not, but they are very vocal about being separate from mainstream Christian or Catholic faiths. And I can see them not liking being lumped in with Christian and Catholics in this regard.
Your Department of Defense or war or debauchery or whatever you want to call it. The fact that your secretary is...
I cheese slap beans on full awful, but Ember's in the way. Don't want her catching strays.
Amber, we
Uh-huh.
consider
Grandsta-
ourselves Christians. It is other faiths that do not consider us Christians.
Well, as I said, it is a denomination of Christians, and I know that there is friction between quote unquote mainstream Christians and Mormon Christians. I know there's a lot of friction there, and that's why I was saying that I could see like people that are Mormons not wanting to get lumped in with the other Christians like en masse because there is that friction there, and there's finer detail and minutia in terms of how each basically exercises their faith, things and things of that nature.
The fact that your secretary is grandstanding on the bodies of dead allies on the Remembrance Day of D-Day in order to nitpick about the, quote, Muslim invasion that is happening in Europe is abhorrent.
I noticed you didn't say untrue.
Yeah, I gotta take the good with the bad on that one. It is absolutely a solemn day of remembrance for the brave men who charged the beaches. Not just American, but British, Canadian.
Didn't he? I did not see Pete Hegseth's speech about D-Day. So I'm in the dark on this one about what he said. I do like, if anyone can TLDR it for me. I'm guessing that he was talking about each day. Okay. Bear in mind I have a point to this. I'm guessing he pulled a Trump where he started talking about D-Day and then kind of went like, and then did a Trump and meandered off into something that is not D-Day, talking about the invasion. He was kind of unfair towards U.S. allies in D-Day. Okay, so he didn't give the allies the credit they were due for their efforts in D-Day, and then meandered off talking about the quote-unquote invasion. Okay. All right. That's not good. Sorry, it's not, he basically shit-talked allies at AI. Yeah, that was bad. That's disgraceful if he did do that. Like, if you're talking about D-Day, you don't go, like, you're talking about, well, not even a quote allies. It's, you're talking about D-Day. You're talking about something that happened, what was it, like 60 years ago? Okay? No, sorry, Matt, I can't math, like 80 years ago. All right, where you're talking, we're talking about the men of multiple countries that sacrificed 82 years ago. Fuck the modern, when you're talking about D-Day, you fuck the modern day politics. Okay, modern day politics should have no place whatsoever in commemorating D-Day. I don't give a shit how they feel about the other countries of the current in 2026, allies or not. I give less than a fuck. The sacrifice that every single one of those men from all nations that were allies at the time, their sacrifice, like, again, what those men gave up. I.e. their fucking lives is the reason why Pete Hegseth was able to mouth off in his commemorative speech, forgetting that their sacrifice is making his ability to even make the speech possible in the first fucking place. There's where the disgrace is. Okay? Were it not for what their efforts and their sacrifice, the blood that they soaked into that sand, Pete Hegseth might not even be fucking alive, much less speaking English instead of German, much less being able to be the Secretary of War and being able to make that speech. He forgot that. He clearly forgot about that. If he's dumpstering on allies and using the remembrance of D-Day as a means to pontificate about the current state of the world and our allies should be backing us up, or however he categorized it. Fuck you on that one. Absolutely fuck you on that one. I did it for Veterans Day when people try to dumpster on veterans. I'm doing it on Pete Hegseth right the fuck now for D-Day. Okay? If he went off on a tangent and started trying to dunk on modern day allies, instead of just focusing strictly on the sacrifice and loss of life of those men that made it possible for today to even fucking exist, fuck you.
For the brave men who charged the beaches, not just American, but British, Canadian, all the allies.
Then he should
I
know
think
better.
that what he said, while it was true, that was not necessarily the place to make said statement.
Yes.
And should have strictly focused on the history and the sacrifice of those
exactly
brave
what
men
I said.
who charged into literal machine guns in order to free Europe from fascism.
Send me over there. I'll free beans on toast from their gay-ass canards.
Maybe you've forgotten, mate. I was the one who got a lock on you, wasn't it?
While within visual range, while I was wearing drop tanks. Congratulations. You took on a superior aircraft when we handicapped the living shit out of it. We go toe-to-toe in real game time. I'll send your fucked up teeth through the back of your skull.
Jesus.
Well, it was very vulgar. The facts are on his side. You know, America, I don't know why we have to be such enemies with one another. I brought some of your big social media people over here. They pay for it themselves. I'm not stupid enough like Cuba, who brought his son Piker and pay for everything. They are under a embargo. I am under sanction. I'm not going to get in trouble. Neither are they. But I brought the Tate brothers and Candace Owens.
Okay. Andrew Tate and his brother, sure. They were a bunch of dumb fucking meatheads. I'm not surprised they went over to Russia. That's actually on fucking brand for him. Cause Tate's Romanian, is he not? He's his native land is right around the fucking corner, if I'm not mistaken. Candace Owens? Of course. The fucking commie sympathizer. Because, of course. Well, that's a red flag? No, Candace Owens is a red flag. She's from what I understand, she's gone full-blown fucking communist lately. She's all about glazing up Russia, glazing up China, glazing up all of the communist countries and saying that they're all so wonderful. He went to Romania, he was not born there. Okay, I thought he was born in Romania. I thought, or at least his family was from Romania, I thought.
Can this dick get fucking stretched across your nose?
I'm trying to make some amends here. You shut up your mouth, you stupid plane. Anyways, America, they came over here for my World Economic Forum in St. Petersburg. And they said it was a safe city. And they don't know why, that we have to hate each other and we should learn to work together.
Yes, because when you're bringing over American influencers that have large audiences, surely you're not going to make efforts to clean things up, to present your best foot forward for their viewing audience. Kind of like what China did. when Hassan came over, and they basically made sure to only show him the best areas that were nice and clean, or when he went to Cuba and he got to stay in the hotel that was the only one on the fucking island that had functioning electricity so he could glaze up communism. Gee, is anyone fucking shocked that Russia made sure to clean up the area in St. Petersburg where they were going to be to go, look, Russia's actually a wonderful place with no problems whatsoever. Fucking shocked, you dumb cock gobbler.
So your way of trying to thaw relations with us is to bring in 2 sex offenders and a woman who is so far off her rocker that even
Yes.
Cheney would tell her to chill the fuck out. Good call. Let me ask, what is the legitimate reason that you hate me?
Let me see, you
Oh,
lie
let us
about your
count the
military
fucking ways.
capabilities. You provide refuge to literally every bad American. You brought the world very, very close to nuclear war on several occasions. Let me see, you oppressed the living shit out of people, the whole genocide of the Ukrainians, and I mean, there's a few other things. What are you thinking?
Uh-huh.
Russians are kind of getting tired of, hemorrhaging money and the loss of life in the Ukraine conflict. And their way of life has been drastically affected. So Vladimir Putin needs a PR win. And
Uh-huh.
that's probably what this is. Almost everything that
But here's the funny thing. By getting the Tates and Candace Owens, this is not going to be the PR win that he thinks it is, because their audience is the U.S., and everybody in the U.S., the majority of people in the U.S., when they see freaking Trader Owens and the sexual assault brothers talking about being in Russia, every one of them is going to say they're busy on their knees sucking off Putin's cock the whole time. It's not going to be the PR win that they think it is, because every rational thinking person in the West is going to know this is a complete fucking setup. So this ain't going to fucking work. He would have had a better chance trying to set up something with Trump again. And cause Trump has been he's glazed Putin before when they've had meetings. So he would have been better off setting up some kind of thing with Trump, like some kind of meeting, like a puff meeting essentially. And then Trump could say oh, we had a very good meeting with Putin. We got along really well. That would give him better PR than bringing in these 3 numbnuts. So I don't know what the fuck he's thinking there.
man does is very self-serving. He's a narcissist. Don't worry. I get it. Ours is too. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling there.
America. What's
Oh,
up,
God.
North India or West Taiwan, chicken chow mein? I'm sure I can come up with more racial slurs. What's going on? What it do, homie? Or should I be like, Western Taiwan? I was talking to America, not one of his little peons.
Uh-oh.
Peon? Listen, Russia's mom only does that when I ask for it.
Gross. What's up, West Taiwan?
I hate that goddamn name. So,
Sucks to suck.
a Beijing-centered corporation has created a robot, a humanoid robot, to play soccer, as you call it.
Hold up. Did I see video footage of this? I'm reasonably sure I saw video footage of this thing. It tried to go out onto the field and ended up basically having a heart attack and spazzing out in the field and nearly kicking the shit out of its handlers. I'm reasonably sure I saw that, the thing went out onto the field, and then it, basically had, a heart attack or a stroke, hit the ground, started ticking like crazy, and almost kicked the shit out of the handlers that was running it.
Everyone else calls it football, but I'll use your terminology. And this thing can kick the ball hard enough that it dents walls.
Okay. Am I supposed to be nervous or intimidated? Are you going to use them to kick IEDs into different bunkers? Because DARPA, we may need to get on that.
No, our goal is to eventually have a robotic soccer league, as you may call it. So,
Wait. So he's trying to say this is a precursor to them having a robotic army that never sleeps, never eats, never rests, and can just constantly be on an offensive? Is that what he's trying to say? We've seen their robots before. They don't work very well.
So basically, you're telling us that we should be prepared for the Great Clanker War.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I got a new form of technology too. It's still in testing, but the United States Army just developed a quantum signal pinpointing device. Basically, it listens to all frequencies on the battlefield and can give you a three-dimensional map of exactly how they're traveling and where they're coming from. It's going to be cool.
Oh my
Interesting.
God. Dude, our counterfire and our fucking close air support is about to go ham. No more hiding in fucking buildings for terrorists, guys. Guess what? If there's a signal coming out of there on your goddamn radio, we see you. Oh,
Interesting.
God. 72 Virgin Dating Service. Here we go.
Nice. All right. The Clanker Wars are coming, chat. Make sure you're nice to your computers, because pretty soon they might start growing arms and legs and fucking you up.